this is Jeremy from ddsvideo.com and dmdvideo.com. If you're considering having a promotional video film for your dental practice right now, right in the middle of the pandemic, is that a good idea? Well, in this video I'm going to share a few things that you're going to need to consider about COVID before the videographer or video production company yells action. Now, COVID, more specifically the additional PPE and social distancing required to minimize kind of the spread in a dental setting, this adds a new complexity, both to you, obviously to you, but also to video professionals. So it's something that we kind of need to be mindful of. So if you're considering having a video filmed for your practice right now, there are definitely a few things you want to weigh before forging ahead. For example, showing additional PPE that you and your team are wearing will definitely give viewers kind of an accurate look as to what your office looks and feels like right now during the pandemic. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a very positive thing. And it's a good reason to have a video filmed right now. With all of that PPE and all of the procedures that you have in place, it's a good idea. Now, additionally, no matter how much experience dentists have with infection control, and you get a lot, some patients were always going to fear that an office is going to be unsafe, so showing, even donning some additional PPE on camera may minimize that apprehension that some patients are going to have about coming into a dental office while COVID is kind of on everyone's mind. Other reasons to showcase all of the PPE, all of the new procedures that you have in your dental practice, well, they might include, of course, as we sort of talked about already, you're providing a candid look at your practice at this time, and I think there's a value to that. A second benefit to filming right now and to donning all of that PPE is that patients won't be caught by surprise, because there's going to be very little difference between the PPE that you showed in your video compared to the PPE that you're actually wearing in your office right now. That will make patients probably feel a little bit more at ease when they actually come in. Now, patients will have a better idea as to what protocols to expect when they come into the office, and I think that will probably put them at ease, especially again during this time where everyone's a little bit more on edge because COVID is on everyone's mind. Additionally, showing the PPE will instill confidence in your patients, especially the ones who are a little apprehensive about coming into your office, that you're taking advanced precautions to keep them, your team, and yourself safe. With these reasons to showcase all of the additional PPE and some of the new protocols that you've installed in your office, thanks to COVID, I guess the question you might have is, why wouldn't you? Well, there are a couple of reasons that you should consider before you don all of that PPE and you're showing all of those different protocols in the office. Things that you should probably consider before recording a video or hiring someone to film a video for you. For example, if and when COVID does take a backseat, we're all hoping that's going to be more sooner than later, the footage of you and your team donning all of that extensive PPE, it's going to look outdated. And as a result, you're either not going to be able to use that footage or you're going to have to pay to have it reshot, so that's something to keep in mind. The main reason why you may want to consider filming with your pre-COVID PPE rather than the current extensive PPE that you're wearing and the protocols that you've got implemented in the office, that for video professionals, it's really difficult to show a caring, gentle, empathetic dentist and dental team who are wrapped up like sterile mummies. Now, while you and your team are going to definitely look proactive, you're going to look vigilant, donning extensive PPE and observing social distancing, it makes it especially difficult to show emotions, and that's really important with these videos. So patients, when they're watching the video, potential patients, they feel like they can relate to you. They look at you and your dental team and think, yeah, that's a dental practice that I feel that I could go to. I would trust them. And that's a big problem because you can't show that with all of the extensive PPE that you're wearing. Now, while your promotional video should showcase some of your clinical aptitude, what's really more important, and I've talked about this in other videos, what's really more important with these videos is that it allows potential patients to connect with you on a personal, meaningful, in a genuine way, kind of in an emotional way. They need to see you, they need to see your dental team enjoying the interaction with each other, with patients. And that's really, really difficult to do when everyone's masked up and observing social distancing and wearing extensive PPE. The result is that your practice in the video, while it might not be this way, it may look a little bit sterile and a little uncaring, even though you have a really friendly and outgoing office. No matter how friendly you and your team are, it's really tough to show someone smiling and enjoying themselves while they're wearing an N95 or a KN95 mask. Now, if all of that advice, if some of those tips, they're kind of giving you pause as to whether or not you should move forward with a video right now, and you're wondering what options are available to you, I guess I would suggest considering the following. Number one is just to wait. If there's no rush in getting a dental marketing video out there or video content out there right now, maybe just hold off until you're ready to have something filmed, and hopefully by then the requirements for PPE will be a lot less. The second option you could consider is actually filming twice. You could film now with all of the extended PPE and all of the COVID recommended PPE, and then film another video later, and hopefully at a safer time where you don't have to wear quite as much PPE. Now, admittedly, this option will cost more time and it'll cost more money, so if it's something that you want to consider, look to negotiate a special rate with your video professional. A third option is that you could choose one or the other. You could either go with the COVID recommended PPE, and you're showing extensive PPE, the social distancing and a lot of the protocols that you've implemented in the office, or you could stick with what you and your team wore pre-COVID. There are advantages and disadvantages to both. Now, as a fourth option, what you may want to consider, and it would involve a little bit of negotiating with your videographer or video production company, is to ask them to do both. So during the video shoot, they would actually shoot footage of you and your team and your patients observing extensive COVID recommended PPE. You would also shoot footage of maybe the patients maybe not wearing masks and you're not wearing the extensive PPE, maybe going back to what you and your team would don before COVID hit. So you could consider that, and at the same time, you would ask the video production company to create two different videos for you. One of those videos would be, you would use that during the pandemic and as long as that goes. And that would, of course, show the COVID recommended PPE, so everyone would be masked up with the N95s and KN95s, and showing the social distancing and the protocols that you have installed and implemented in your office. And then you would also get a second video, and in that second video, maybe patients aren't masked up, and maybe you're going back to a pre-COVID routine in terms of what you would wear and the protocols that you have, and maybe there is no social distancing at that point. So the bottom line on this fourth option is you're really shooting both videos in the same shoot, and you're getting two videos, one during the pandemic and one that you can use after the pandemic. So it's something that is more than doable for a videographer to be able to do. So ask them about that, and then ask maybe to get a little bit of a special rate or at least a little bit of a break in terms of the cost for that. Ultimately, the decision to make a dental practice video that adheres more or less to the current COVID guidelines. You can decide how much you want to follow the current COVID protocols in your video. Now, putting things off would probably be the easiest option. However, if you do want or you need to move forward with a marketing video for your dental practice, just consider how filming with the pre or the current COVID guidelines, they're going to influence your audience, these potential patients, as well as the shelf life of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and stay well.